Hey everybody, I really hope that you enjoyed that video. The entirety of that video was shot on the Sony a7C II. But the hike itself was a 24.6 mile trek. We actually spent the night at the North Rim the night before we left, and then from there we hiked in that next morning, starting at about 3:30. And we only hiked for about an hour and a half in the dark before the sun started to come up, so it wasn't too bad. We needed headlamps for the first little section, but I think we got through about 4 or 5 miles when the sun started to come up. At about 14 and a half or so miles in is where Phantom Ranch sits, and we stopped there for lunch. And then from there, we headed to the South Rim, which was 9 more miles of hiking and about 4,400 feet of elevation gain. It was not very typical. Normally when I go hiking, I'm hiking mountains, so normally you do elevation gain first and then come down. But for the Grand Canyon, you're hiking down and then you're hiking up. So ending on uphill was definitely pretty tough, but I definitely think it was doable and still like a pretty enjoyable experience. We got kind of lucky. We got some clouds in the sky, so it wasn't like super hot, which was nice. We were reading some of the All Trails reviews the night before, and there was a guy who was just like saying how it was 100 degrees down in the canyon, and the last 4 or 5 miles he said was an absolute soul-crushing experience. So going into it, I think we didn't feel that good about it, but then coming out, obviously it was a struggle and it was challenging, but it was a good kind of challenging, and it was cool that we were able to do it. Definitely, if you're thinking about doing this, I highly recommend training for it a little bit. Don't just jump right into it. Or I recommend staying the night at Phantom Canyon. You do have to get reservations, but it's well worth it. I've stayed the night there before, and it's such a cool spot. Really cool to sleep under the stars down in the canyon and just kind of have that kind of different experience. This hike was actually something my dad really wanted to do, so it was super fun, really like getting to enjoy that with him and my brother. And so that's who you're seeing down in the corner of the frames on some of the different shots. It was definitely a really fun hike. I highly recommend it. If you guys have questions about the hike experience or anything like that, please don't hesitate to leave those comments down below. That's gonna be it for me, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.